A video, and today we're gonna be acting to Moist Critical. Palworld is getting sued. Let's get straight into it.
Nintendo and lawsuits go together like cereal and milk. They are no stranger to dishing out lawsuits. They would sue an 8-year-old if they found out that their grandmother made them a Mario nightlight.
I think I've heard, yeah, I've definitely heard about Palworld before. I've never played it, but I've heard about it and Pokemon.
They've been this way for
The
years,
games.
so it's no surprise that they're suing Palworld. I'm actually surprised it took them this long. For a
Yeah,
while,
because it was a little while ago. I seen it when RDC made a video about it, and I think Penguinz made a video
I
about it
thought
a
it
while ago
maybe
too.
wasn't going to happen because Palworld, when it came out, everyone compared it to Pokemon. I called it Pokemon with guns. Everyone called it Pokemon with guns. And it was one of the biggest games to launch of the year. Well, one of the biggest games to launch in general on Steam. So it's not like a game that flew under the radar. Nintendo would have been alerted to it. Well, that is assuming they use the internet, which is a far-fetched notion. They only just recently learned
Yeah, they don't have a really nice
what
history
email
with
was
people,
like 5 years
especially because I know what they did to SM. I'm not even gonna speak
ago.
on
So
SML.
who really knows? They're probably still working off dial-up over there because that company is so fucking archaic and out of touch.
Right.
But there is a very slim chance that they weren't aware of Power.
Horrible thing is they actually, I think, from what I see, maybe I'm wrong, but they actually give out very great stuff like product,
World, and
like
they
games and stuff. Of
vaguely
course.
talked about it. They did make some posts back when Palworld was popping off that they will do anything they can to protect their copyright. And they also announced that they were going to be investigating, but a lot of time passed, tumbleweeds started to blow through, there was cobwebs on the story, nothing came from it, so I started
Yeah, I
to
haven't heard of it.
assume
And
that
heard about it in
maybe
a
they
while.
didn't find anything that they had any real legal ground to pursue Palworld over. But it turns out that was wrong. Instead, they spent all this time charging their alt. So now Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have jointly filed against the company behind Palworld, Pocket Pair. Also, I'll just go ahead and say what everyone's thinking. Pocket Pair, I mean, that's kind of on the nose. Like, there are things here like that seem extremely close to Pokemon. But anyway,
Yeah, because the thing about that was, even though I think most people, I think a lot of people like, I'm not sure, but I think a lot of people like Power World because I heard a lot of people playing it. So it's a good game, but like, it's just crazy similar from what I've seen, like the videos that I watched.
we'll talk about the actual patent infringement lawsuit in a moment. I want to talk about Palworld itself. I and many others really liked Palworld because for the first time in at least a decade, it felt fresh. Nintendo's just
Yeah, it's a good game. Actually, I can't say it's a good game because I never played it or watched it.
let Pokemon get
I probably will though. I'm not gonna lie. I've been looking for new games besides
super
Warzone.
stale and recycled. And somehow they can't even just hit copy and paste correctly half the time. Like the newest one, Scarlet and Violet, was a fucking mess. That game looks worse than some of the Pokemon games that came before it. It's when you continuously like download a JPEG and you know it ends up looking like some kind of fucking cursed images straight from one of the circles of hell. That's kind of what Pokemon's become. Like, it is just the same game regurgitated endlessly.
Yeah, I haven't played The last Pokemon I played was like Sun and Moon, I think. Yeah, I think it was Sun and Moon. Or yeah, I had it on a DS, I believe. I think. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Even when they do try and do a few new things, like with Legends of Arceus, it's half-baked. So they don't even fully realize some new concepts they might want to try. It's just, most people, like me clearly, have really lost their faith in Nintendo to deliver a good Pokemon game. Enter Palworld. They take the Pokemon formula and they make it feel fun and exciting. And yes, of course, to the hall monitors out there, you'd be lying to yourself if you said that the Pals were totally unique looking.
Yeah, that's just the sad part about it. I heard, just like I just said, I heard it's a good game, but it's probably true.
There are some pals in the game that look almost identical
Yeah.
to Pokemon counterparts. It looks like they just changed a few colors. But you're not going to hear me whining about that. Not going to order any French fries there and shed tears over them having similar designs from their pals.
Wish there could be an easier way than just suing them, though. Like, I feel like there's a way around this besides just suing. Will it affect and it might affect the game. I don't know.
Pokemon. Because Pokemon doesn't fucking use them for anything worthwhile. So, I don't really care. I'm not going to be upset on behalf of a billion-dollar company for it. But I did think this was going to be the strongest case Nintendo had against Palworld, because the designs are almost identical in some situations. But it doesn't seem like that's what they're going for. So, the patent infringement lawsuit. That means that they believe Palworld infringes on a patent they hold, so not like designs or anything. Instead, they are seeking an injunction against infringement and compensation for damages, which
Can't they just do both? Because the designs are what I've heard about. I don't know what they're talking
the
about here.
lawsuit is civil, and according to an attorney, the fact that it's a patent infringement suit and not a copyright claim means the case isn't about copies of Pokemon themselves, but rather some aspects of the game design that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company protect as a new invention patented. That really raised a few eyebrows because, like I said, the main thing people point out is how similar the designs of some pals are
why don't you just do both?
Pokemon. So you would think that they'd go after them for a copyright infringement. Like, hey, you've taken our characters and you've made one-to-one knockoffs. You've made bootleg Pokemon over here. But they're not. They're not trying to make the argument, hey, you took a Rayquaza from us and turned it into a Rayquazar in Palworld. They're going after them for patents, meaning like technical inventions that they own the rights to. So in when it comes to games, sometimes things...
If both are true, that's even worse. Because if they're ignoring that, then that... I'm just gonna assume Pokemon. Let's just assume that Nintendo and stuff, they're being smart here. If they are, then I'm guessing there's more to what he just said that we don't know about.
Patented are mechanics. So the most notable one that I see referenced a lot, and it's one that I think about from time to time, is the Nemesis system from the oh my god, my nose is really getting congested here. Is the Nemesis system from like Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War. That's an incredible system, and there's a reason you've never seen it used since. It's because Warner Bros. Has that patent and they just shove it up their ass and just sit on it. They don't use it, and no one else can use it because it's patented. There was also a really notable one. You know, mini games that used to be in the loading screen of games.
I'm sad. I don't know.
It was a long time ago. Well, that was patented as well. So there was a reason why you no longer had mini games when a game was loading for such a long time. It was patented. Now, conceptual and visual similarities aside, Palworld and Pokemon play wildly different. Palworld is a survival game with an emphasis on exploration, building, and combat.
Of course, that's why. Of course, it's confusing why they're taking this approach, because the designs are similar. I don't know about the actual game.
Like, you use fucking guns. Like, it is wildly different from a Pokemon game from a gameplay perspective and what you're actually doing. So it's weird to target that.
Yeah.
However,
but like I said, there's probably something more that we don't know about it, maybe. Because if that's more important...
It seems, and this is the best guess that people have, that Nintendo has a patent on video game character throwing an item to catch a monster while out in a field. So, the Japanese application specifically refers to Pokemon Legends Arceus, which allows players to throw Pokeballs in the overworld rather than limit catching to wild battles. It also includes what looks to be a version of the game's Pokedex pages, which track information like how many times the player has encountered the Pokemon in question or has seen it use a specific move. Palworld does contain catching mechanics similar to Pokemon Legends Arceus, so this may be one of the patents included in the lawsuit. Additionally, developer Pirate Software speculates that the lawsuit relates to Palworld's Pal Spheres, which are similar to Pokeballs, and Nintendo filed a patent for this in Japan back in 2021 and got it approved in 2023. I think the speculation is probably correct here. Those are like the two main...
Okay, my bad, I was locked in right there. That was like, it was a lot, but I didn't get all of it, but I got the gist of it. I get the gist of it.
Mechanics that Palworld has, that Pokemon also has. I can't really think of any others off the top of my head that are patented, at least. So I think that's probably where they're heading with this lawsuit. And I know a lot of people have talked about this, but I want to echo it. Patenting gameplay mechanics fucking sucks. It stifles creativity because a mechanic can work as a foundation that others can build upon and create something beautiful out of. That's like the very definition of how some art blossoms. It starts somewhere and it evolves through others doing similar things but growing it in different ways. So if you patent something and forbid anyone else from touching it, it really sucks for every person that's not the company.
But even though it sucks, it might still be theirs, so they don't... We already know they don't care if it sucks, it's theirs.
Company with the patent. I'm going to use the Nemesis example again. The Nemesis system could have been a staple in gaming, but instead it is now only in 2 games. Granted, both games are bangers, But if we could have seen that explored in other titles, that could have been one of the best new mechanics of the modern age. I love the Nemesis system. That had so much potential, and now it just festers. It sucks. Nobody wins there, except for Warner Bros., I guess, because they have a gold mine that they refuse to tap into. So, when it comes to gameplay mechanics being patented, I'm not extremely happy about that, but that's the legal ground that they're going to stand on and attack Palworld for, and I guess we'll see
But
how it
can't they
plays
just
out.
put it all in there though? They don't have to just go in for one thing, right?
Palworld has responded. To sum up their statement, they're saying that they're going to be going through all the legal proceedings and investigations, and they don't know what specific patents they're accused of infringing upon because they have not been notified. They then go on to explain that they're a smaller indie game company based in Tokyo, and they just want to create fun games that bring people joy. They then say it's unfortunate we'll be forced to allocate significant time to matters unrelated to game development due to the lawsuit. However, we will do our utmost for our fans and ensure that indie game developers are not hindered or discouraged from pursuing their creative ideas. So it doesn't sound like they know exactly what they're being targeted for with the patent infringements yet. I'm assuming that'll come later down the legal proceedings since this is still very early into.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Palworld seems pretty nice, but I don't believe that they don't know what they're being sued for. Because obviously, if someone's suing you, they're $1 million company, right? Your lawyer's gonna look over that before you respond, of course. So.
And I guess we'll see how it
No, unless I'm stupid. Maybe they don't know. Never mind. I'm just gonna.
I imagine
leave
Nintendo probably wouldn't. Well, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company probably wouldn't pick this legal battle if they weren't confident they could win. These are billion-dollar companies going after Palworld now. That's gonna be tough. Or maybe it won't be. Maybe they have a trick up their sleeve to prove they didn't infringe.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what trick you're gonna have to. I don't know. This just doesn't seem like it's gonna end well for Palworld at all.
On any copyright, who knows? I guess we'll see. Anyway, though, that's about it.
You got Pokemon's finest on it. But alright, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's pray for Palworld. Peace out.